This photo is quite important because it portrays the overall situation of the woman before the Taliban. There is two different situations. One is like a lady wearing a blue burqa and carrying the basket of dairy product, where the other woman who just clothes like a more educated woman, student type. She is carrying her bag, which she's walking towards the campus, where the lady, she's going to bazaar and selling her product. So this is the two different situations at that time, that the woman could wear at least like in a way that they could choose something, not definitely as a Western, but also the women were allowed to show their face, maybe wearing a little bit non-conservative clothes. Unfortunately, what's changing now, all of the situation of the woman is changing to that blue burqa or fully black collar. So that's how I wanted to show this picture, so that people can understand that just few months ago, women were allowed to at least choose between a conservative and non-conservative clothes, and now even that basic rights are being taken from them. This photo is like a landscape. I love the landscape. It's in the center of Bamiyan, and it shows that there are a few women, they are working on a potato field. Potato is the main product of Bamiyan because it's super cold, and we are the city of potato. And also we used to have a potato flower festival. So it was a cultural festival. People used to come from all over part of Afghanistan during the potato field flower, and we had a lot of like different programs, cultural programs, music programs, show, cooking, food, and so many different things. So Bamiyan became in a way the home for different festivals in the past 20 years, and one of them was the potato field. Another significance of this photo is how most of the time it's the women who are not able to get education. This was culturally acceptable that they should go and work in the field. They were taking care of the field. They would basically start working from the beginning of a field or growing something to the harvest, and also the other process of like selling it or either take it to the home and all of that. So it's a very physical heavy works that take a lot of energy of the women who are not able to study. And also some of the time it's not the women who are not educated, but because of the situation, the poverty line is very high in the Bamiyan. A lot of the population are under the poverty line. Because of that, the girls like half of the day, school in Afghanistan like half day. And in the morning they used to go to school, and in the afternoon they were working in the agricultural field, and also they were taking care of like livestock and all of this. This photo is also my friend's photo, it's not mine, but I loved it, like how the vibe, overall the vibe, the color of this photo is amazing, and also it shows a part of our community that usually it's not represented because of poverty is the main challenge for us that we are facing throughout the history. I would give a little bit of the context. Majority of the Bamiyan people belong to Hazara community, meaning that this ethnic group, we have been persecuted throughout the history. And it's not only a year, it's almost 130 something years that we have been persecuted by the different regimes or different government. And one of the way was to control our economy so that we cannot survive, so that this genocide literally being completed. And because of that, our people are like really poor in Afghanistan, and that's how we are struggling every day to making a living for ourselves. And that's how like most of the Hazaras are fully dependent on agriculture, on the livestock. And being a shepherd is a work which is like it has a very little wage. I would say, I think for a year they pay around $200, something like that. And this person is a shepherd. They spend their whole life, a whole year on the mountains, from one mountain to the other mountain, without very basic, not facility at all, like just maybe a piece of bread and water all the time. So this is a photo of a lady. She's starting the fire on a traditional oven, so to maybe cook bread. I will give the relation for this is like two different directions. One is like more to the climate. Bamiyan is very cold. It has almost a 6-month winter. It's very cold. Maybe like we don't have much snow, but it's like most of the time it's very cold. Because of that, the structure of the house, the traditional house, are like in a way that this oven, the fire goes through under a home, and it goes up like to the the smoke eventually come out of like from a different part of the house. So this is like attached it to a room. And I grew up like we used to go on one of the part, like the one that's close to the wall of the oven. It's called gulkhan, means that this is like warm all the time. So whenever there was a guest coming or if there was cold, we used to go and we used to just sit over there. And this has like two purposes. One is like to keep the home warm and also to cook bread. And also like after the fire is done, the people do not like just leave it like that. They put water, they put like water kettles and all of that so that they have warm water throughout the day. And if we are freezing cold, especially our leg and feet, we would just sit on the like oven and we put our legs on the oven, and it's really the feeling that I have over there I would never have now, because it was really cold. We would have tea sitting over there and putting our leg and just shaking our leg inside the oven. So that was the story behind this, and this lady is cooking the naan or bread. This photo talks about I would say the source of energy in Bamiyan. It's sad, unfortunately, even though like our city was very peaceful, but we had a lot of challenges. This is, I would say, like Bamiyan is one of the most deprived cities in Afghanistan. We unfortunately didn't get as much as facility, as much as development projects in our city compared to the other cities. Most of the population was under the poverty line. Because of that, they were not able to have like coal, which was like the main source of energy, or using for the cooking and all, or wood. So what they would do is they would collect the cow dung, and they were making like this circle shape. It's a long process. I cannot just say it in like few seconds. They have to collect it, and they have to, smash it, I think, and then make the circle, and it's a long process to dry it and taking care of it like throughout the year. And after that, once it's dry, they use it as the source of energy to cook food, to cook like bread. Especially this is used for this like the traditional oven. And this is like how they keep their home warm, and also they cook their food. The photo was taken in Aaghil district of Bamiyan province. It's like an hour drive from the center of Bamiyan. And women are coming together in the river basin. They are washing their clothes. In Afghanistan, especially like in Bamiyan, water is one of the main issues. Having access to like clean, affordable water is really challenging. Most of the people cannot afford to have the water in their home. So because of that, they travel, especially the women, they travel like hours carrying the heavy basket of water or this clothes, like wet clothes, from one location to from their home to the river basin, and they would wash or they would just rinse it. Sometimes they wash in their home and they rinse it in the river and going back, or sometimes they wash and rinse in the river bank and then they go back to their home. So washing clothes, dishes, or carrying water is very common for the women in Afghanistan to do. Bamiyan, despite all of these challenges, it becomes a home for the young people to feel a little bit safe compared to the other part of Afghanistan, to have their own identity in a way. and also to be educated. Everyone was striving to be educated over there. They were like, they would stay hungry, but they would buy a pen or a pencil so that they could write notes. And this photo shows that the Bamiyan University students, both like we used to have the mixed gender classes, and there was like boys and girls in a group and all of this. Except the way we were clothing, other than that, I think it was all the same in the other part of the world. They are like just sitting for their final exam. It was really cold on that day that I took this picture. At the same time, there was a construction going on inside the university, so you could see a lot of different material around. So, like, people usually ask me the question like what they are doing. I'm like, because the class number of students are so much, so the teacher cannot, or the instructor was not able to take the exam inside the class, and that's how they used to take out. And the exam season means like everyone is outside in the schools and the university, and the chairs were in outside, and the students were sitting and giving their exam outside. And also it's like mainly paper based. In Afghanistan we don't use the technology because we don't have it. Yeah, I like it because unfortunately August 15 took us back to before 2001. So in a way we lost this period of like from 2001 to 2021. It became like a dream for us now, and I don't want to forget that dream. This photo is showing a bigger far distance of like Bamiyan Valley, and it shows different parts of Bamiyan. The most important part of this photo, it shows the empty space of the Buddha statue. The two Buddha statue, which used to be the tallest Buddha, standing Buddha in the world. Salsal in the left side is, I think it's, if I'm not wrong, it's 53 meters tall, and the Shamama, which is in the right side, it's 38 or 34 meters, which unfortunately the Taliban regime destroyed Bamiyan Buddha on 2001. I'm mentioning this because it's almost on the same year that 9/11 happened. Unfortunately, a lot of people lost their life here too in the US, but we went through a genocide in Bamiyan. And in my city, at the same time of the Bamiyan Buddha's destruction, a genocide against the Hazara people happened there. A lot of people lost their life. I personally, we were displaced. I was very young at that age. I didn't remember anything, but our property was burned. The other part of Bamiyan, which is called the city of Bamiyan itself, was burned completely, and also the city of Yakaulang district, which my father's business was there, and also a lot of our property was there. They were completely burned over that time. Overall, it was like a very supportive community. They would welcome different activities, but it was not easy. Definitely there was fighting. There was strong girls and women behind all of this achievement. They would fight for a very long time to achieve something, but eventually our community became very open to women, and sports such as ski, snowboard, cycling, marathon, and all of this became very famous in Bamiyan, in Afghanistan as well, but mainly Bamiyan. And believe me, like Bamiyan, throughout the year we had, like almost every month we had so many different programs. It becomes a cultural city for men and women, and every day the participation of the women were increasing, and the more families were encouraging their girls to go to do cycling or to just play ski and all of that. So this was other part of life in Afghanistan that was in a way missing, but unfortunately and sadly has been taken away again from us.